want to say a few words about developing a thesis statement worksheet. This is a very useful tool, I believe. I actually use it in my writing. So I wanted to share it with you and go over the process, walk through a couple of ideas so you can use it as you write each one of your essays, research papers. It's very effective. When you're starting, the first thing you have to do, right, is you brainstorm, you come up with your topic, and you've got a topic in mind. Then you've got to get your thesis. Okay, that's the you narrow the topic, get the topic, narrow the topic, and got to get the thesis. That's the steps involved in the writing of an essay or a research paper. Okay, so what we do is, what's our topic? You got to decide that. Let's for example, let's use school choice. Okay, it's been in the news. Probably will continue to be in the news for a while. Okay, so let's say that's our topic. Question: is school choice a good or a bad idea? The answer. You answer that yourself, and I'm going to answer it, yes, school choice is a good idea because it opens up competition, and I'm going to leave it at that. That's my answer, okay? Then, what is my opinion? I'm going to expand upon that, all right? I said that it was that school choice is a good idea because it opens up competition. Why? Why is that my opinion? All right, I have to expand upon my answer, and that's where you start the process of developing the thesis. You have to have enough knowledge about your topic in order to develop the thesis, and you would have to do a little research, or a good bit of research, depending on how much you know about it, in order to formulate the next step. Because you can't have an opinion if you don't know about something, or you shouldn't probably have an opinion if you don't know about something. So that's the next step, is you got to know enough about it in order to think it through. So hypothetically, you know about school choice, and this is your idea, and it's come to the point where, like I said, you've got school choice is a good idea because it opens up competition. All right, your opinion about that competition is that competition is a good idea because it offers students better education choices, and you're going to then, you've got something to work with, right? You're ready now to go to the working thesis, and you've just given yourself, in your mind, again, from your reading and your knowledge, you come up with the idea, the answer to the question, and then your opinion about why you answered that question the way you did, okay? And let's just say that the working thesis now, remember, the thesis is what you're going to write your paper on, right? It is the guide that you're going to follow. It's like the menu in a restaurant that reveals what will come next if you ordered a certain entree, okay? If you write this thesis, any thesis that you write is going to tell the reader what comes next, okay? And so a good thesis then would be something like, by implementing school choice, students receive a better education because choice opens up competition as a result of schools offering the best product, a structured environment, and cuts wasteful spending. I gave 3 points that I want to talk about that explains why I have the opinion that competition is what makes school choice a good idea. Okay? Take my guidelines. Take that example, and you should be able to formulate your own thesis by simply going through that process. Any topic that you choose, right? I've used before the example of the JonBenet Ramsey case. Let's just say that was a topic. Question: who killed JonBenet Ramsey? Answer: there's several ways you could go with that. You could say it's a cold case. No one knows. Then my opinion. My opinion is it could have been a family member, or it could have been an intruder. Okay, and my working thesis, I'm going to have to decide where I'm going to go. I mentioned family member or an intruder. Am I going to formulate a thesis? Am I going to talk about in my paper? Am I going to prove that that one family member did it specifically, or am I going to talk about a possible intruder? And if I went the intruder route, maybe I would say my points would be why I believe that it could have been an intruder rather than a family member. I have to. That's the part of being specific, because that would be what the paper would focus on. Okay, and this worksheet you will find a couple of times in the semester for different assignments, because it's handy dandy, and if you need it for each essay or each paper that you write, make a copy of it, because I feel like, again, once you grasp, get in the flow of using it, you'll develop that thesis with no problem. And of course, always remember when you get that working thesis that it's not the final version. You may tweak it a little bit along the way. When I say tweak, you can't redo it to the point where it doesn't match your points that you've made or in your outline. But when I say tweak it, you're going to then make sure that there's no being verbs. It's in the correct tense, present tense. It's no I's, no U's, no personal pronouns. And if I did have to make any changes in the direction that I went, again, I reflect that in my points. Okay? So, just wanted to give you this little tidbit of advice here. It's like I said, it's a great little tool, and I hope that you'll find it as beneficial as I have in the past.